whenever that familiar montage rolls in, you know it's the sound of the weekend, signing off politely, of course, but making way for your trusted Sunday tonic Newsline. Now, like every other Sunday, Newsline tonight will take you beyond events, from your homes where newborns are being tested to the roads and rivers that move our daily trade, and even the kitchens where change is quietly simmering. Now, each story tonight reminds us that Nigerians are finding new ways to adapt, to thrive, and of course to care. I'm your captain, Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak, welcoming you aboard Newsline Airways, departing from the network service of the NTA here in Abuja. Now, our first stop will be the newsroom for highlights of the evening news. So, buckle up, we are cleared for takeoff. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declares Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abuja, winner of the Anambra State governorship election. Soludo polled a total of 422,664 votes, following the collation of results from all 21 local government areas, bringing the election, which attracted nationwide attention, to a close. Here is Joy Iluebu with the report.
Declared that Soludo Charles Chukwuma of the APGA will satisfy the requirement of the law and score the highest number of votes in this election, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected.
Governor Soludo says his re-election is an evidence of his visionary leadership.
This election and this victory is not just victory, it is history made.
The mood in Awka, the Anambra State capital, is decidedly forward-looking.
One thing I will tell Soludo is this: the expectation is higher than even before his first election.
I'm happy because I see it as a reward for hard work.
Meanwhile, the APC candidate Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu says he is not satisfied with the process and alleges fraud.
We have seen, with the result of the election, will show you who bought the vote or not. Both some they burnt their houses, they burnt their cars, intimidated them, including my deputy governor. I want to also congratulate her for showing such solidarity and support to me.
The next tenor of the incumbent governor will speak if he will match action with his promises. In Awka, Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Professor Chukwuma Soludo on his re-election as governor of Anambra State. He said Soludo's overwhelming victory in Saturday's poll makes him the third governor in the state's history to win a second term. The president also praises the people of Anambra, security agencies and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for conducting a peaceful and successful election. He adds that Professor Soludo's knowledge, accountability, transparency and prudent management demonstrates real progress and served the people effectively. And Vice President Kashim Shettima returns to Abuja after leading Nigeria's delegation to the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP30, in Belém, Brazil, where the country reaffirmed its global climate leadership and commitment to a green transition. In a statement, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, says Shettima joined other world leaders, development partners, and business executives at the Leaders Climate Summit, hosted by Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva during the summit. Vice President Shettima represented President Bola Tinubu and delivered Nigeria's statement titled The Rational Soul of Nature, calling on world leaders to recognize the economic value of nature and channel significant finance towards protecting and restoring it through predictable, equitable and accessible funding mechanisms. He emphasizes that Nigeria's renewed climate agenda represents not just an aspiration, but a solemn national commitment to preserve the planet for future generations. On the sidelines of the summit, Shettima held bilateral meetings on carbon market cooperation, aiming at unlocking between $2.5 billion and $3 billion annually in carbon finance for Nigeria over the next decade to support the country's transition to a low-carbon economy. Now, traditional rulers have demonstrated that Nigeria's cultural diversity remains a source of strength and unity in the country. The 10th coronation anniversary of the Emir of Borgo attracted prominent leaders, including the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, and King Apoluchu of Eleme Kingdom in Rivers State. Their attendance underscored a message of solidarity, peace, and national cohesion across Nigeria's diverse cultural landscape. Chimdemma Ndubisi reports.
From across the country, royals and government representatives gathered to felicitate with the custodian of culture and tradition in Borgu Emirate in Niger State, His Highness Mohammed Dantoro, as he commemorates 10 years of sitting on the ancestral throne. The Dabo tells a story of history and cultural elegance in celebration of the legal luminary's decade reign, described as an era of progress, cultural harmony, peace, and unity.
I pray that our bond continues to grow stronger and that together we will continue to serve our people and promote the values of peace, unity, and development.
I pray Allah to continue to guide him and give him the strength and wherewithal to contribute his own quota, to lead his own people, and to develop his own area to the best of his ability. And, we wish him more years, prosperity.
A man who believes in Nigeria's unity in diversity, King Apollos Chu, took the journey from Niger Delta region to the north-central state, accompanied by some members of his Council of Chiefs, in a show of brotherhood, royal bands, cultural harmony, and clear message that the traditional institution is the glue that binds the nation.
Emir Obugu, who has been a long time friend with me, and he has been to my own functions, followed about 4 times for the other previous ceremony I've done. It's a very humble man that actually respects and follows the relationship. May his days be long. May God continue his strength. There's so many wonderful privileges.
Kitoro IV, May Borugu's anniversary, reaffirms that unity among monarchs strengthens national integration. Chimdemma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs condemns U.S. President Donald Trump's classification of Nigeria as a country of particular concern and calls on him to retract his position. At the end of an expanded General Purpose Committee meeting in Abuja, the Council states firmly that no genocide targets any religious group in Nigeria. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara tells us more.
Leaders of all Islamic organizations converged on Abuja to lend their voice on the development, which they say is like giving your dog a bad name because you want to hang it. After an engagement behind closed doors, Secretary General of the Council, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, briefs the media.
We urge President Trump of the United States of America to retract branding Nigeria as a disgraced country. We are not disgraced. And rather assist Nigeria with credible intelligence, critical logistics, and human capacity development to enable the country overcome insecurity in different parts of Nigeria. And we state to the world in clear time, as members of the Muslim Ummah, as a united Nigerian Muslim Ummah, we will not be defined by this lie, and we will not accept that our country be fragmented by a foreign agenda. As a people of faith, we believe that the truth will prevail and our unity as a nation will endure.
Earlier, the Sultan of Sokoto and Chairman Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, urged Muslim faithful to show actions that will sustain and project unity and peaceful coexistence in Nigeria.
And I believe that consultation became so important to us as a Ummah and as big partners of this great project of Nigeria in moving this country forward.
The council appealed to the media not to break the country while trying to break the news. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Now, in other news, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, has commissioned 80 revitalized primary healthcare facilities and handed them over essential medical equipment to the Kogi State government to enhance healthcare delivery. Now, Dr. Muyi Aino, Executive Director and CEO of NPHCDA, joined Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo to inaugurate the upgraded facilities as part of the World Bank-supported Impact project aimed at expanding access to quality, affordable and reliable healthcare across the state. Dr. Aina applauded Governor Ododo for his visionary leadership and commitment to improving healthcare and lauded the state's health team for their dedication and professionalism. He reaffirmed NPHCDA's continued partnership with Kogi State, expressing confidence that sustained investment in primary healthcare will boost health outcomes and drive national development.
For all is doing at this very material time, in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of human capital development, in terms of making us to believe in ourselves.
We don't run the facilities, we don't own the facilities. You do at the state level and at the local government level. You own the staff, but we support you. So all of the things that we bring is a support.
All right, that was the CEO of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency in Kogi State. Time now to bring in Bade Adeleye on Sports Update. Bade, the Premier League table is becoming quite interesting and exciting.
You know, Manchester City doing their thing earlier today, getting that massive victory over Liverpool. Obviously, it's taking shape. All right, welcome to sports. Let's begin straight away from Saudi Arabia, where Team Nigeria have hit the ground running at the 2025 Islamic Solidarity Games after Rafiat Lawal clinched gold medals in the women's 58 kilograms category of the weightlifting event. And of course, Lawal delivered a commanding performance, sweeping all available medals in the snatch, clean and jerk and total categories. She finished ahead of Uzbekistan's Nyogora Abdullaeva, who took silver, while Nura Isam of Egypt claimed bronze. Moving on, back in Abuja here, Kada Stars and Kada Queens have been crowned champions of the 2025 Nigeria Hockey Super League after an action-packed week of competition. In the men's final, Kada Stars edged Police Mission 3-2 on penalties after a tense goalless draw in regulation time. The women's final saw Kada Queens seal a comfortable 2-0 victory over Plateau United to claim the title. In the third-place playoffs, Delta Queens beat Yobe Desert Queens 4-1 on penalties, while Niger Flickers overpowered Stallions with an emphatic 3-0 win in the men's category.
I think the commitment from coaches and the encouragement from all the technical crew, I think we will achieve success.
We don't just go and relax. We always come out for training, even when the competition is not close.
It was overall successful. I think we're in a good position in Nigerian hockey, and the future is bright.
Fantastic atmosphere. You can't believe this crowd are all coming to watch hockey.
The performance for this 2025 sets the pace for the new board to be able to now move forward and be able to now achieve.
Meanwhile, it was a solemn moment for the tennis fraternity in Nigeria and beyond as they gathered to pay their last tribute to the immediate past president of the Nigeria Tennis Federation, Ifedayo Akintoju, who passed on at the age of 65. The president of the Confederation of African Tennis, John Claudio Talon, president of the Nigeria Tennis Federation, Victor Che, dignitaries, immediate family members shared lasting memories and legacies that characterized the life and times of late Ifedayo Akintoju.
He was a very committed and humble person with a big heart.
It's a sad loss, but you can't question God, and it has happened, so we'll take it the way it is. But like I said, it's not how long but how well. And for me, Dayo achieved what many people who live longer wouldn't achieve.
Big shock, great shock, an unexpected shock, but to God we give the glory.
Most especially the support from everyone has brought my family great comfort, and I just want to say sincerely that I thank everyone for being here today. My father would be smiling down on us right now, and I'm sure he'll be very happy.
Moving on, ahead of the crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying playoffs against Gabon, Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze, Tolu Arokudari and Olakunle Olusegun have all arrived in Super Eagles camp. Others who have arrived include Wilfred Ndidi, Moses Simon, while Williams Troost Ekong and Benjamin Fredericks, including Chidozie Awaziem, arrived tonight. The Super Eagles will face Gabon on 13th November in the semi-finals of the playoffs in Morocco. And just before we leave, a quick check on results from the Nigeria Premier Football League, where leaders Nasarawa United maintained their lead on the table despite losing 2 points to Kwara United in a 1-0 draw. The only away win of the day came from Ikorodu City's 2-0 win over Warri Wolves, while Enugu Rangers and Wiki Tourist recorded home wins. To the English Premier League, where resurgent Manchester City brushed aside Liverpool 3-0 to keep their title hunt going. In other results, Aston Villa thrashed Bournemouth 4-0 at Villa Park, while at Villa Park, and of course, Brentford and Nottingham Forest won their matches by 3-1 in the two other games decided this afternoon. And that does it tonight on Sports. Let's now return to Claire.
Everybody, football can sometimes be very humbling. I know Liverpool fans weren't expecting what hit them this evening.
Yes, same with Arsenal fans that saw the draw on Saturday.
That's savage. All right, thank you. Let's quickly take a look at the weather forecast for the rest of the country tomorrow. All right, welcome back to Newsline. If you've just tuned in, you're watching the program right on the network service of the NTA, and it is your Sunday Tonic. So tonight, we begin, unfortunately, with a silent crisis that unfolds behind the doors. We talk about them often. We also discuss them, but never enough, because its impact on our homes and our society remains deeply, deeply troubling. Now, talking about domestic violence, reports suggest that it's on the increase, stirring serious concerns. So what is driving this surge? Is it economic pressure, cultural silence, or weak support system? There are so many questions, and the stakes could also be higher. Rosemary Mutoleng engages relevant stakeholders to shed more light on this growing issue.
Domestic violence is no longer a hidden issue in Nigeria. Why is this happening? Who is most affected? And how do we stop it? Come with me as we seek answers to these questions and more.
He did not give us money before traveling. I'll get beaten. I talk because I catch him or I caught him cheating. I'll get beaten up. And the kind of beating I've received beating from him before that. I ended up in the hospital.
That is one among thousands victims of domestic violence, a silent epidemic behind closed doors that continues to cast a dark shadow across homes in Nigeria. According to statistics from the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Department of Domestic Laws, reported cases of abuse involving both men and women have risen sharply, with figures now exceeding 30%.
There has been a significant spike in the cases being reported and cases being virally captured, both in terms of violence against women and children. It is a crime, and you who perpetrate such will end up becoming the criminal convicted of GBV.
It's increasing. Sometimes in a week, you can get like 5 women coming here to complain.
Let's start with religious leaders. They outline how faith-based approach can help curb the menace with emphasis on compassion, early intervention, and moral guidance.
If you look at it critically, what Islam is saying here is that when there is, because we are humans, in case there's anything, invite those who are friends to the parties, but not their enemies. 2, we shouldn't overpower the figure which we are going to have. All these are the measurements that Islam takes in order to avoid domestic violence.
Christ makes very clear that husbands should love their wife just as he loved the church sacrificially, while at the same time he's telling the wife to submit to their husbands. So in a sense, first thing to do is to counsel. Second thing is to make sure that those kinds of abuse is not continuous. It's a teaching of reciprocal responsibility. And we need to also educate people that violence in whatever form, either from the man or from the woman, either emotional or financial, whatever, is unacceptable.
From the grassroots, community leaders highlight ongoing awareness campaigns and support initiatives aimed at protecting victims and promoting zero tolerance for abuse.
When there's disagreement, what you will do, you have to get their mind. And then humble yourself, attend to them, and then hear from them. What are the problems that cause all these things? Then when you can able to get the whole story, you can able to counsel them.
This couple shed light on how open communication and mutual respect can nurture peace and resolve conflicts within marriage.
Marriage is not for babies. Don't wear pampers and carry somebody's daughter with children's kind of behavior. No, abuse will take place. Be matured enough.
Communication is very important. Be open to each other so that the person will know your do's and your don't.
And from the professional, marriage counselors share the most common complaints and challenges they encounter and prefer practical steps toward breaking the cycle of violence.
If you regard people well, you will never think of hitting them. The way a man loves his wife should be the way he loves himself. 29 says that no man will be eating himself or hate himself. You must not lift up your hands to somebody you claim you love.
Many people don't know how to control their anger. And so they need to go for that therapy, counseling on anger management, so such thing will not be able to affect them to become violent. Well, the bottom line is that no one should suffer in silence. So we all must work together to cope, or better still, find lasting solutions to fight this demon, eating away the peace in some homes.
You know, while domestic violence happens behind closed doors, one thing we should know is that awareness and action must never remain silent. Change begins with each one of us. So let's move from the very dark reality of our relationships to the unexpected side of love. To ask, is love truly blind? That's an age-old saying, right? But some say love really makes us overlook certain flaws and believe in change, even when reality says otherwise. But But for some, patience pays off. Yet, some believe that hope can turn to heartbreak or even tough choices. So tonight, my colleague, Umu Abasi, hit the streets to ask Nigerians this question that, sometimes defies answer. Is love truly blind, or do we simply choose not to see?
Love, they say, is a beautiful thing. Many times people fall in love for different reasons: companionship, shared values, or simply the warmth of finding someone who understands them.
When you are in love with someone, a girl and a boy, you people will be so tight, so close, everything comes together. But when you marry the girl to the house, in fact, the character that she had when you people were friends is no more.
For some, that love blossoms into marriage, a lifelong journey built on trust, patience, and commitment. But sadly, for others, the dream begins to crumble. Increase in domestic violence, many ending in separation and divorce, is raising serious concerns. So, what goes wrong? How do two people once madly in love suddenly become strangers, or worse, enemies? Were the red flags ignored before saying "I do"? Or was love truly blind?
From my own point of view, love can never be blind. It's all about what you want. A young man keep company with a street girl. What do you expect at the end of the day? So love is not blind, it's what they wanted.
Say that love is blind, it means that if your partner offends you or wrongs you, you will just close your eye, you won't say anything about it, and that will not, help your relationship.
If you know your partner beats you, you have no business going into marriage with that kind of person, except and unless you are resigned to feel that this is what I will face until I die.
To help understand the emotional and psychological shifts that happen in relationships, we spoke to psychologist and marriage counselor. One of the biggest questions remains: how do couples lift the veil of love's blindness and see clearly before taking that big leap?
Fall under what we call personality problems, and they get worse with age. So if you get into that relationship, tendency is that person will be that condition, that experience will get worse. It's not likely going to change. People don't change like that. No, they don't. So with increase in age, the conditions become worse.
Experts warn that beyond the butterflies and sweet promises, couples must balance the heart with the mind, noticing early warning signs, speaking up, and seeking help before things escalate. Because domestic violence, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, doesn't just break homes, it shatters lives. And sometimes it ends in tragedy. In matters of the heart, love deeply, but look carefully before you leap.
Indeed. So love may be blind, but certainly not with parenting, especially when it has to do with children. And marriage is a very beautiful journey of love and new beginnings. But sometimes that journey comes with little hearts already waiting children from partners past. For some, it's an opportunity to love not just your spouse, but a ready-made family. For others, it raises fears, questions, and silent doubts. In this next report, Doris Akumoye looks at the joys and courage behind choosing love that extends beyond two people.
Marriage is a beautiful union and commitment between two people who choose to share their lives, dreams, and future together. Yet, when love meets reality, decisions aren't always straightforward. While choosing a partner, a lot of things are considered, one of which is marrying someone who already has children from a previous relationship. It is a dilemma that weighs heavily on hearts and families, often making the path to love a complicated one. For some, love remains the foundation, not a partner's past. They believe understanding, communication, and mutual respect can make blended families flourish. To them, Raising a child who isn't biologically yours, not a barrier. Others, however, say it is not always simple. They point to challenges such as gaining the children's acceptance, managing emotional ties to the former partner, and dealing with jealousy. Issues they believe can threaten peace and stability in the new home.
She's a human being like me. She's a woman like my mother. Despite that, maybe another man left her for one or two reasons. It doesn't mean that the next person will reject her.
It depends on maybe the woman wey wan marry the man wey get children, so maybe sef don comot for marriage before. Then when he be say na that opportunity for you to marry that man, and if you see say you go fit take care of that children, you can marry.
If I marry this woman with children, I may not be bold to control the children as if they are mine. And peradventure, maybe I talk to the children from my heart. My wife may feel that I'm just because the children are not mine.
Relationship counselors stress that step parenting requires emotional maturity, patience, and open communication.
You have every right to marry any man that love you with your what? Children. That's how it should be.
Clerics share a mixed perspective, while some disapprove unless circumstances as widowhood or proven infidelity arise.
Because that child, that woman carried from another man, even that woman that already married and has a child, I don't know whether the man divorced her or she divorced her husband.
So Islam permits it correctly, because during the time of the Prophet, may the peace and blessings will be upon him, the companions that were with him, a lot of them lost their wives at the cause of war, and many of them were married.
At the end of the day, choosing to marry someone with children is deeply personal. It calls for maturity, empathy, and a heart willing to embrace not just a partner, but their history and the young lives connected to it. Whichever path one chooses, one thing remains clear: love may start a journey, but wisdom, patience, and understanding sustain it.
You know, there is a word that can mend so many things that love itself cannot do. Just 5-letter word, and it's called sorry. S-O-R-R-Y. Yet they carry the weight of healing, forgiveness, and peace. A word so small, but with the power to mend broken hearts and, of course, restore trust. Now, still for many people, saying sorry isn't simple at all. It feels like rocket science caught between pride and pain. So why is it that it's difficult to say sorry? S-O-R-R-Y. Annie Daniels took to the streets here in Abuja to find out why. She sought the voices and the struggles behind this tiny word with such mighty meaning. Annie, let's hear you.
Across bustling cities of the world, from New York to Nairobi, London to Lagos, life moves fast. People move faster, and sometimes so do tempers. Amidst the rush and routine, the need for empathy and understanding becomes even more vital.
If he doesn't say sorry, I can let him go because I don't know the problem he's carrying.
I am sorry is a magical word, is a miracle word. It has a soothing effect, it has a healing effect. It can actually restore peace in homes, peace among friends, peace among nations. It doesn't mean you're weak, because actually the foolish and ignorant think it's actually emotional weakness. No, it is a proof that you value the individual and you actually value peaceful coexistence.
In the daily grind, misunderstandings are inevitable, and when apologies are withheld, simple conflicts can spiral into something deeper, breaking relationships and stretching the limits of human tolerance.
You see a lot of anger. And now the anger is not just the car being hit, but rather also involves the anger of the fact that she has deadlines to meet. She's stuck in this traffic. She has her kids that she just dropped, and she also has their school fees to think about. So all that weight is now shifted in that situation. So if it was done the other way, that person actually apologized, "I'm sorry for hitting you," it just gives her a time to cool off.
These respondents agree that failure to apologize not only damages friendships, but can also escalate issues beyond repair.
Because of
One respondent recalls a tragic case of betrayal that led to murder, a grim reminder of how unresolved emotions and unspoken remorse can turn humanity's softest virtue into its hardest test.
She sleep with another person. You understand? Okay, she said me that she's sorry. I forgive. Who is the next person that she can sleep with? Will I know? I mean, I'm a businessman. Every morning I'm going to work. You understand? So that is the thing. I can't erase from you. I can't forgive.
I mean, if you mistakenly slept with your friend, your wife's best friend, would you want her to forgive you?
Yeah, I want her to forgive me, but I'll be guilty for life.
But the most important thing is, mention that word sorry. If it becomes obvious that the person does not accept that, then good luck to him.
Still, the question lingers. How easy is it to say I am sorry when consequences seem irreversible?
If one don't have adequate home training, or parents actually do not prioritize morals when somebody is being trained or a child is being trained, we find it difficult to coexist with people in the society.
It's you teaching and training yourself how to take responsibility. That, okay, I acknowledge that I am the cause of this distress that this other person is experiencing, and I take responsibility for it. So it's you practicing accountability, and that takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of discipline to do that.
An apology may not erase pain, but it often builds the first bridge back to peace. In a world already weighed down by conflicts and misunderstanding, the courage to say I am sorry may be the quiet act that keeps our humanity alive.
Thank you. Sorry. Just a word with 5 letters with so much weight and humility. All right. I have to say, I'm sorry. We just have to take a short commercial break. But don't worry, we'll be right back with more engaging reports. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching Newsline on the network service. Now let's move from heartfelt reflections to stories that come with cheerful moments. Now, and for one remarkable week, the ancient town of Ilesha witnessed influx of dignitaries who gathered to honor one of its most distinguished sons, Asiwaju Olayinka Fashuyi, on his 70th birthday. Now, from moments of heartfelt gratitude and community bonding, the celebrations reflected the life of a man whose journey has been defined by service, excellence, and generosity. Kemi Oshin reports that tributes were paid to the business icon, philanthropist, and unwavering pillar of support to many.
70 years, the platinum age that symbolizes strength, endurance, and the beauty of a life well lived. This captures the essence of Asiwaju of Ijeshaland and founder of Ibadan Business School, Olayinka Linton Fashuyi, as family and well-wishers gathered to thank God for a life of excellence and impact. Preaching at the Thanksgiving service, Bishop of Ilesha Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Akwa Ashaju, reminds the congregation that God is the giver of life. Joined by his family, the celebrant offered heartfelt thanks to God for his faithfulness through the years.
The Almighty God has been merciful in allowing me to see and witness the septuagenarian age. So to that, I give glory and adoration to the Almighty God.
He's a wonderful man. He works so hard. He has put in so much. And I wish him the very, very best at this time.
With the diaspora, he has brought them all together. Now they all now contribute to everything that we are doing here in Ijeshaland.
He has initiated and led the funding of so many development programs in Ijeshaland.
To his children and associates, Asiwaju Fashuyi remains a mentor, a visionary leader and community builder.
His life has been in different seasons. He's gone through the point of building his business and now he's at a point of legacy.
Dedication and the amount of sacrifice that
he puts in on a daily and on a weekly basis to prosper in his community is just very inspiring.
Really learned from him is how to balance everything really well. He's a family man through and through.
He has taught me that no matter how much you have, there should still be something for you to share around.
Even when he was small in the school, he has been a star, even from then.
He's a Nigerian in the true sense of it. He's a man who has made friends across the divide. He's a man who's impacting meaningfully on humanity.
The week-long 70th birthday celebration featured public lectures, educational material distribution, a guest house donation to the church, and a book launch in his honor.
I've come to find out that it's one Nigerian who is unique in all ramifications.
The festivities climaxed with a grand reception where a juju legend thrilled the guests. At 70, Asiwaju Olayinka Linton Fashuyi stands tall. His journey, a platinum testimony of grace, gratitude, and service to humanity.
All right, now our next story is about young minds that are shaping Nigeria's tomorrow. 25-year-old Shamsuddin Jibril is one of such. He has broken new ground in technology with the invention of a locally made agricultural drone designed for spraying farm inputs. Now, he's a graduate of aerospace engineering from the Air Force Institute of Technology. Now, Shamsuddin's innovation aims at reducing the health risks farmers face when using conventional spraying machines. And Kim Gott reports is presented from our studios.
Driven by a passion to solve local challenges, Shamsuddin developed a drone for spraying fertilizer and pesticides using affordable, locally sourced materials. The invention, which is fully automated, allows farmers to cover large areas within a short time while minimizing contact with harmful substances. This is a step toward smart farming. Observers note that such innovations will boost productivity, protect farmers' health, and could transform small and large-scale farming in Nigeria.
I grown up in a family that they are into farming, and I saw how my dad laborers used to spray chemical manually, which is very hazardous, stressful, and also carcinogenic, which we need to come up with something that's going to support them. Since I'm into this innovation, why not if we eliminate that manual spraying, for them to start within this local agricultural drone, so that it will protect them from inhaling chemical that will lead them to have respiratory problems like the heart diseases, kidney diseases.
With adequate support and funding, the young inventor hopes to scale up production and train other youths in agricultural technology.
This is a big ambition actually. We have a big vision for it because we want to support not only farmers in Nigeria but across the world. Nigeria first, and especially Kaduna and all other states in Nigeria and Africa and then world at large, because we're trying to see how we can equip young people, we will mentor them, and also try to have our hope centers across Nigeria and also have it across Africa and even across the world.
Shamsuddin Jibril is proving that Nigerian youths can provide homegrown solutions to agricultural challenges.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, talking about innovation, I mean, the world today is becoming smarter and smarter. Today on our roads, you get to see slick cars with leather seats, keyless ignitions. What? Computer-controlled engines, all, of course, are symbols of technology and luxury. But when these marvels of innovation break down, who brings them back to life? Chinyere Okoye hits the streets of Umuahia to meet the unsung heroes keeping these machines moving.
With dusty faces,
grease-stained hands, and sometimes torn clothes. They bend under the hoods of vehicles worth millions. To many, they may look rough and unrefined, but behind that roughness lies a skill that keeps the city's wheels turning. The cars are modern, the mechanics are traditional. The engines require software diagnosis. They rely on screwdrivers, spanners, and instincts on over years of experience. Yet, somehow, they get the job done.
A mechanic does not have to be educated to understand skills. And that's why we lay emphasis on skills development. When you go to an auto mechanic person, all you do is believe he will do the right thing. And for these sophisticated vehicles coming out today, he puts a question mark because there's no formal training.
When you give them to do, you find out that they will do it well and you get a result.
They have been here like over 6 years, learning both in theory and practical. So this place there is their own school. They are well trained by their own master, who also got his own training from somewhere.
Any type of fault, both electrician, panel beater, with the work I'm here.
If customer call, I would like work motor for them now.
For these mechanics, each car that drives out in perfect shape is a personal victory, a proof that knowledge isn't only found in classrooms. But how do they truly cope with the growing influx of smart vehicles?
It's just my own knowledge as a mechanic, and I use my own knowledge that God gives to me to make it easy for myself.
All this oxygen sensor, engine sensor, gearbox sensor, whatever, all those sensors. So then when they find it out, so I am one there, like mechanic.
Before you lose, you first of all store the car. Install the air, go to throw the time and throw the bed, how you take lose it. You understand?
In the same ecosystem are spare parts dealers, the link between mechanics and the machines. They too face their share of challenges, from sourcing the right parts to meeting the demands of evolving car models.
The challenge we are having now is the economic part of it. You know how the country is now. For example, now, exchange rates, as the business is going, they are changing. As they are doing their own, we are here to research on our own to know, to be in update. Because that is what people are calling it, so that we cannot be out of the market.
As technology is growing, we're also going. For us, that know that there's no need of staying in one place.
Experts believe that for Nigeria to keep pace with modern vehicle technology, investment must go beyond importation to the people who maintain and repair them. Training programs, modern diagnostic tools, and partnerships with manufacturers could empower these ingenious technicians who are, in their own way, engineers without certificates. The mechanics will continue to prove that knowledge isn't just in machines, but in the minds and hands that keep them alive.
All right, now let's turn our attention to the backbone of our local commerce. Don't get me wrong, I'm talking about the engine that is powering our local logistics sector. And the issue with this story starts with its name. Sometimes I also wonder myself whether is it weigh bill or weight bill? But beyond the spelling mix-up, the system has become both a lifesaver and, in fact, I don't know what to say, but waybill business has grown into a very quiet logistics revolution here in Nigeria. It was born out of necessity, powered by relationships. From the farmer in Jos to the retailer in Lagos, millions depend on it every day. Our correspondent Charity Ashiki unpacks how this informal system keeps Nigeria's trade wheels turning and turning.
Long before digital delivery platforms transformed commerce, Nigerians relied on a simple, trusted system to move items across distances, from yam tubers and grains to clothing, documents, and personal packages. The driver heading to your town could deliver your goods safely and swiftly. What began as a community-based trust and practice soon evolved into a nationwide informal logistics network connecting motor parks, traders, students, workers, and families across states. Awe Sali and Sam Ogwede are entrepreneurs resident in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. For more than a decade now, they have relied on the use of Waybill to connect with their clients across the country.
I prefer doing the Waybill instead of going all the way to just to ease my transportation, so I don't have to go by myself.
Instead of paying 15,000 to Kano, you pay 5,000 and send your message.
Waybill service has become a lifeline for many, just like Awe and Sam. Mothers send food to children in school, traders move goods between markets, small business owners fulfill customer orders in distant towns, and transporters earn extra income while traveling routes they already ply. Its popularity continues to grow because it's faster and more flexible. It supports perishable and urgent goods. It is cost-effective for both sender and receiver. It relies on a strong culture of trust and personal accountability. Yet, with opportunity comes responsibility. Drivers say, while Waybill offers financial gains, there are risks from misplaced goods to disputes over damaged items.
I figure one, I figure two, I figure three. Depend of the Waybill, some pay 1,000 naira, some pay 1,500.
If you lost, you are the one that will pay. So any other thing that you are doing on Waybill, you must reason very well before you do anything.
Transport unions emphasize due diligence, urging drivers to always verify packages and understand contents before accepting them to avoid being used for illegal activities.
We will make sure we see the content because of the drug and arms issues. We must see it, then you now seal it back.
Legal experts note that logistics comes with obligations. Ignorance does not excuse liability where prohibited items are involved.
The onus lies on the driver at that particular point in time to actually ensure that the person who gave him the consignment of the goods is produced to come and account for whatever it is that has been discovered there to be contraband.
The Waybill culture continues to adapt, proving that informal community-based systems can evolve into powerful economic engines.
Okay, what they didn't say about Waybill, it can be a big nightmare for the customer. Anyway, thank you for bringing that report to us. Now, nothing beats the joy that comes with walking down the aisle, with your spouse for a new beginning. And in a grand celebration, the family of former NTA Executive Director of Programs, Lawal Umar Lalu, brought together friends and well-wishers at low-cost Jumat Mosque in Daura for the joyous Islamic union of his daughter Amina to Sani Lawal Alas. Hussein Suleiman was there, and he compiled this story on this special occasion, which was attended by a host of dignitaries, including current and former staff of the NTA.
Was a roll call of guests from across and beyond Katsina State who trooped to the ancient city of Daura to celebrate the union of Amina Umar Lalu and Sani Lawal Alas. The deputy imam of Daura low-cost Jumaat Mosque, Sheikh Ibrahim Murtala, led the solemnization, the usual rituals by the groom and bride's representatives, and the payment of 200,000 naira bride price.
My advice to the couple is that they should exercise patience because of the day-to-day life.
As he's giving out his daughter in marriage, we felt it is necessary for us to come and celebrate with him. It is a moment of joy for all of us.
This indicates that actually wherever NTA staff they are just like one big family. That's number one. Then number two, I will just advise the couples that they should understand that marriage is not a bed of roses.
Let them be patient to each other. It's the only thing that will make their marriage stable and sustainable.
Our advice to the bride and the groom also is that they should try to tolerate one another.
I'm really happy for this event, and we thank all those who attend this marriage
from far and near.
She is very kind-hearted person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your union. She should take care of him.
I know Sani can do anything better to his family.
The father of the bride, the immediate past executive director programs of the NTA, Lawal Umar Lalu, thanks Almighty Allah and the guests for their presence.
This is the sixth time I'm giving my daughters out for marriage. I pray, may Allah bless their marriage. May Allah bless their youth. May He also continue to protect and guide them.
The most important advice is that she should be obedient to her husband, just as I respect her father. And we are living peacefully up to now.
We can only express our gratitude to Allah for the support, cooperation, and prayers from family, friends, and well-wishers that have made this beautiful marriage a reality.
I feel so happy. He is very kind.
Other traditional activities, including Kamun Amaria, were held.
Congratulations to the celebrants there. Now, from that joyous occasion, again, I have to say, I'm sorry, we have to take another short break from this storytelling. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's now turn our attention to something much more serious that could be life-threatening, and it's a bite that is usually on our plate. Now, I'm talking about beef. It is loved by many for its protein value. But in some of our open markets, there's a growing concern there, and it's all about the use of chemical preservatives to keep flies away. Now, unaware of the danger, many consumers buy and, of course, eat this meat daily, risking their health. And that's why our correspondent, Khadijat Akombi, took a closer look at this troubling trend and its implications for public health.
In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, the Olushola Saraki abattoir stands as the largest in the state, where no less than 150 cows are slaughtered daily.
Before the killings in the ranch, in the cattle ranch, they have to do the inspections of the cows to satisfy that this cow is satisfied for killings.
Because once the animal is diseased or has certain ailment in the body, of course, we not allow such animal to be slaughtered to prevent transmission of zoonotic disease to the human, to the populace.
From the abattoir, the processed beef makes its way to various markets and selling points across the metropolis, ensuring a steady supply of meat to thousands of households. However, Newsline's findings reveal a worrisome trend. In an attempt to ward off flies from their meat displays, some sellers resort to using harmful chemicals on the beef.
Any meat that fly did not touch, that it will cause sickness in someone's body. That was what I had. But there's a lot of people that if you buy meat from them, fly will not touch it.
They have to look for another means of storing it, because you can't spray chemical on something we eat now. Something we are boiling, we are eating, is harmful for us inside. Doing that is harmful to people, and it should not be encouraged at all. I think government should do something about it.
For those people putting chemical to prevent their meat, please, you are killing people. From there, people can get cancer through that chemical.
Nutritionally, there is no any reason for you to even eat anything chemical. So any food that is being used, chemical that is being used in preventing flies from entering that food itself is not wholesome for consumption. So that is the health implication.
Yet, amid the unhealthy practice, a few sellers are setting a positive example. 2 of them have erected netted display containers to protect the beef from flies while maintaining hygiene and safety.
The reason why I cover the meat is to prevent flies, to prevent my customers from contacting diseases.
I've been buying meat from her more than 15, 60 years now. She doesn't use chemical.
For experts, the message is clear. Ensuring meat hygiene is a matter of public health and safety. Finding safer, healthier ways to keep flies off the beef is not optional. It's imperative.
Okay, the thing I know, I mean, the common saying is that the more the flies around the meat, the fresher the meat is. But I don't know how correct or how true that is. But one thing we do know is that flies are attracted to decaying and contaminated food. So, the more the flies, it can only mean more germs for that food. But thank you, Khadijat, for bringing this for us. Now, let's be clear about one thing. Cooking may traditionally be seen as a woman's role, especially in preparing meals for the family. But truth is, it's not entirely a rigid assignment for women. And in Maiduguri, for instance, certain traditional dishes like the Kanuri delicacy, denduru, a rich mutton meal, are often prepared by the men. But as Tina Toro reports in our next story, Maiduguri men are now taking things a step further, tying the aprons themselves and, of course, stirring what could be called a new culinary revolution. Let's hear Tina Toro.
These restaurants are owned and managed by women, but behind the scenes, the cooks are men, dishing out delicious meals daily to the delight of customers. Interestingly, many diners have no idea who prepares the food they enjoy so much. But does that really matter? After all, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
One thing about the men is their intelligence. Sorry, I'm biased. When you show a man how to do something, he does it to the best of his abilities. I think in cooking, intelligence also matters, knowing the time to add what and things like that. So for me, a man is always good at everything, including cooking, and seriously, I give thumbs up to the men.
Shigan maza kitchen abu biyu ne. Wani bahi da shi, wani kuma dole ce take sa.
Some men go into the kitchen for various reasons. Some prefer entering the kitchen to cook for themselves because they feel it is more pocket-friendly than eating at a restaurant. Some men's cooking is better than that of a woman, and so are their services in restaurants. They are more efficient. Men of today cook better than women. Our mothers were better cooks than most young women of today.
The women behind these businesses share why they prefer having men in their kitchens.
We prefer to work with men because they are more hardworking and consistent. The young women are very lazy and unstable and prefer to go after men for quick money than put their talents to good use.
They also speak about their experiences.
When I opened my restaurant, I started with the young women, but they didn't last up to 2 months. But the men have been with me for more than 5 years. The men are more hardworking than the women. They do virtually everything in the restaurant. They make the job easier.
But is there a contrary view to this growing wave of male cooks taking over the kitchen?
Cooking is exclusively for women. The kitchen is not a place for men.
This new trend, which is reshaping the restaurant scene, with more men now running the kitchens in women-owned eateries, proves that cooking is not just a woman's job, but a skill fueled by passion.
I have been cooking in this restaurant for close to 5 years. It is something I am already used to. I learned how to cook while growing up. It is a passion for me. I enjoy cooking.
At the end of the day, hunger has no gender. And one thing, however, is sure. When hunger calls, you will eat. Maybe it's time for we women to take a back seat and relax, because these men just might be doing it better.
I think we should, have a reverse. Instead of what a man can do, a woman can do better. It should now be what a woman can do, a man can equally do better. So, from Meduguri's cooking, let's see what our knitters are doing in Jigawa State. Now, the age-old art of cap knitting is getting a new lease of life. Now, for many people there, it's a culture and a means of survival. But the good news now is that the governor, Umar Namadi, has empowered some of our knitters, and it's a drive that's turning the craft to sustainable livelihoods. Here's Mohammed Musa Askira with this report.
Mariam has relied on cap knitting to put food on the table. The job is slow, the returns modest, yet it remains her family's lifeline. Today, her story is changing. Mariam is among the 1,400 beneficiaries of a state government empowerment program that provided materials and seed capital to support women in the business of cap knitting. With a hopeful smile, Mariam told the NTA News that before the intervention, she could only knit 3 caps in a month. But with the support she received, she now plans to produce up to 6 caps monthly, raising her income to between 75 and 90,000 naira.
With this empowerment, our lives will definitely change. We are grateful.
This means more food on the table, school fees paid on time, and a brighter future for their children. Governor Umar Namadi, who flagged off the program, says it is part of his administration's 12-point agenda aimed at lifting 10,000 indigenes out of poverty every year. He also unveiled plans to establish a northern cap knitting hub in the state, designed to modernize, enhance, and expand the trade beyond Jigawa's borders.
Create a cluster and create where they would, a woman has finished knitting her cap, she will come and bring it at that cluster, and we'll be able to create a market for them outside Jigawa State. Now, so that at least even beyond the shore of Nigeria, so at least this business will now thrive and will become a very serious business that people will now see it as an industry.
The slogan of this administration, part of it is, let's use Jigawa State money in Jigawa. So we are here empowering our own local businesses, small entrepreneurs, big entrepreneurs and medium ones, so that they can come up there, we can consume what we are producing.
These women have not only contributed to the preservation of cultural identity, but have also created livelihoods, empowered themselves and uplift entire communities.
For women like Mariam, it is not just about making caps. It is about knitting together dignity, self-reliance, and hope.
Indeed. Now, honoring the departed, it's more than just a rite. It's actually a coming together of culture, community, and of course remembrance. And that played out recently when the remains of Felicia Emeje, mother of the Director General, Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, Professor Martin Emeje, was laid to rest amidst glowing tribute. Now, Michael Abuja reports that the funeral was held in her hometown, Iga Alamoboro local government area of Kogi State.
Thus, the remains of late Mrs. Felicia Emeje journeyed to her hometown accompanied by family and sympathizers. At St. Louis Catholic Church, Agaliga Ashipo Efabo Parish, a requiem mass was held in her honor, followed by Christian wake and service of songs that fill the air with hymns of hope and remembrance. At St. Matthew's Catholic Church, Iga Agala, the parish priest, Reverend Father Wilfred Zemba, urged all to live righteously, saying that only then can one triumph over death.
In every death, there is life. It is appointed unto man to die once, and after that, judgment.
Sympathizers describe the 73-year-old matriarch as kind-hearted, hardworking, and deeply devoted to her family and faith.
Prof has just shown us another side of himself. You know, that some of the things we have seen in him is a result of upbringing that is sound, that is religious, and that is consistent.
From the sources her children have recorded,
She lived a fulfilled life. We pray that her soul will rest in peace.
It's a thing of joy for children to bury their mother.
We remember for proper counseling. We remember for empathy, because she feels for you.
Her son, Professor Martins Emeje, Director General of the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, and his siblings say their mother's legacy of love and diligence will remain evergreen in their hearts.
I remember Momsi for sacrifice, commitment, loyalty, dedication, contentment. That's what I remember my mother for.
My late mom, I'll remember her for love.
The habit of loving somebody and true love, genuine love. That is what I've learned from my mother.
Late Mrs. Felicia Emeje passed on at 73. She survived by 8 children and many grandchildren.
And as we begin our descent and taxi gently back to base, remember this: having faith in the unseen God is a bit like trusting your life to the pilot of an aircraft. You won't see the controls, you won't see the instruments, but you hope they know what they're doing. So faith, in a sense, is a daring confidence. But here's my 2-copper piece for the week. Little drops of water make a mighty ocean, but yet no single drop ever brags about the flood. Some things in life and in governance work far better when the ego stays out of the cockpit. Think about it. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.